Welcome back to For the Culture. My name is Rochelle. If this is your first time here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Okay, so today's video is going to be why I chose living in Kenya over living in the United States. As an African American, reason number one is I enjoy living in Kenya because I enjoy living around other Black people, people that look like me, people that are more similarly in culture to me. And I really enjoy just the ease and peace that I feel compared to the United States or even the Latin America. I lived in Latin America for 5 years. And although I enjoyed Afro-Brazilian culture, I enjoyed Afro-Colombian culture, even Mexican culture and Afro-Mexican culture, I just didn't feel the same sense of peace because unfortunately, there's still a likelihood that you can experience racism in Latin America and the United States, the entire Americas. But living in Kenya, I feel like my nervous system has healed. I feel like more at peace. And it's just a really indescribable feeling being able to walk out of your house and being immersed around people that look like you. I go to events, it's people that look like me, it's other Black people, and it's just a sense of safety and security and peace that I have never felt before. And I wouldn't really be able to find it in the United States very easily. Granted, there are Black communities or Black cities like Atlanta or even New York City, or Houston is considered a Black city because there's a lot of Black culture, but you still do have to deal with other people who may not treat you the best, racism, discrimination, prejudice. So even when you go to Black cities in the United States, it's still not a guarantee that it's going to be a safe space for you. But in Kenya, I do feel much more safer and at peace, which is one of the reasons why I genuinely enjoy living here over the United States. So let's get into reason two. Reason two is Kenya is an amazing hub for creativity and also tech. There are a lot of people that come to Kenya to do their tech startups because it is a bit more affordable and there's a lot more opportunities compared to other countries. Of course, in the United States, there's a lot of opportunities for tech and creativity, but I feel like the ease of navigation is easier here. There's a lot more people that are excited to collaborate. There's a lot more undiscovered gems. There's a lot more undiscovered hidden spots that you may not be aware of. And so I appreciate being in Kenya and being able to pursue my dreams in Kenya compared to the United States, because the United States can come across a bit oversaturated, but I feel like in Kenya, things are just getting started. The tech industry is just on the rise, even the creative industry, whether you need a podcast studio, a recording studio, photography, videography, you can find everything that you need here in Nairobi, and it's all on the rise. The fact that I moved to Kenya last year, I feel like I got in while it was still good. I got in while everything was still on the rise. And like I said earlier, I have access to podcast studios, recording studios. I've been thinking about dabbling into music. So even photography studios, videographers, animation, very talented editors. That's another thing. If you want to come here to pursue your dreams or start a business, you will have access to a lot of very talented, whether it be employees or collaborators, that can help you elevate your dreams or elevate your business to the next level. So that's one thing that I really appreciate here in Kenya. The possibilities are endless. They have so much advanced technology. They are the tech hub of East Africa and even Central Africa. And I'm really excited to see where the growth is going to come, because this is just the beginning for my career here and also for Kenya. Another reason why I genuinely enjoy living in Kenya is the proximity to the surrounding countries and other cultures. First of all, Nairobi is very diverse in and of itself, but also Kenya is surrounded by Ethiopia, Uganda, Tanzania. I also took a bus to Rwanda, and these are all countries that I was able to visit using Kenya as my home base. I took a bus from, Nairobi to Kampala, and it was about $20. And there's nowhere else you could find easy access like that. If you don't mind taking buses, the world is your oyster. Even if you want to fly, it is at a bit of a discounted price here, but I feel like the possibilities are endless and it's so easy to explore other countries, other cultures within 5 or 10 hours. You could be crossing the border into another country and you will feel like you're in a different world. Compared to the United States, there's Canada above the United States and Mexico below. But the United States is so huge, it could literally take like 2 or 3 days just to drive to Canada or a few days to drive to Mexico. And so that's why most people just fly. But even within the United States, there is a lot to do. But I enjoy being able to hop on a bus and just being a few hours away from the next country, especially as a traveler and someone who loves learning and loves immersing themselves in different cultures. I just can't get that in the United States. The closest thing to that would be Mexico. But even then, you will have a little bit of a limited access because those countries are so huge. It's difficult to traverse through them very easily. So I love Kenya because it's surrounded by a lot of amazing cultures. And there's also a lot of amazing cultures included within Kenya itself. So the last reason I would say I love living in Kenya is the fresh food and produce, and also generally the diet here. So as you guys know, in the United States, things are crazy. Eggs are crazy expensive. Vegetables are processed, filled with chemicals. The grocery prices are rising. And that's one of the reasons why I don't want to move back to the United States. Even when I lived in Latin America, I really appreciated the fresh produce and the fresh vegetables, the fresh meats. The quality of food was so much more higher. And it's also the same here in Kenya. The quality of the produce is so much higher. You can literally walk down the street or drive down the street and see papaya trees or orange trees. There's fresh market stands where you can walk just down outside of your apartment building or outside of your estate and have access to fresh produce stands, supporting the local economy, just going to a little stand where you can just buy groceries, buy fruit for the day. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate here. Also, I think generally the Kenyan diet is more healthy because they have a plant-based diet. They eat a lot of corn, a lot of maize, a lot of collard greens or spinach, their version of collard greens, and tomatoes. And from what I've seen, avocados also, from what I've seen, a lot of people don't even generally like to eat meat or they're not used to eating meat every single day. I even have a personal trainer here and he says that nobody should be eating meat every single day. So a lot of them have a very plant-based diet. And I think that's a good influence towards me as well, because I've also been making changes to have a more plant-based diet since I've been here. I think that the United States, the food can be just heavily saturated in salts and oils, but in Kenya, it is a bit more natural and the foods are definitely fresher. Even the eggs, the produce, the meats. So I really appreciate the high quality of foods that I get here in Kenya as well. So I hope that this was able to shed a bit of light as to why I was able to move here and the reasons why I decided to make Kenya my home base. I'm really excited to see where the future goes. I'm really excited just to see what the possibilities are because I do feel like the possibilities are endless. So if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.